I'm going to read out The Law by Frederic Bastiat. I'm not sure whether there's a pronunciation Bastiat. Bastiat. And I'm going to read out the first chapter only. First page only of the book. It's a small book, but it's very great book on the law. The law, heading is the law. The law perverted. The law. The law perverted. The law, and in its wake, all the collective forces of the nation. The law, I say, not only diverted from its proper direction, but made to pursue one entirely contrary. The law become the tool of every kind of avarice instead of being its check. The law guilty of that very iniquity which it was its mission to punish. Truly, this is a serious fact if it exists, and one to which I feel bound to call the attention of my fellow citizens. Behold from God the gift which, as far as we are concerned, contains all others: life, physical, intellectual, and moral life. But life cannot support itself. He who has bestowed it, he who has bestowed it has entrusted us with the care of supporting it, of developing it, and of perfecting it. To that end, he has provided us with a collection of wonderful faculties. He has plunged us into the midst of a variety of elements. It is by the application of our faculties to these elements that the phenomena of assimilation and of appropriation by which life pursues the circle which has been assigned to it are realized. Existence, faculties, assimilation. In other words, personality, liberty, property. This is man. Wow. It is of these three things. It is of these three things that it may be said, apart from all demagogues' subtlety, that they are anterior and superior to all human legislation. These three. It is not because men have made laws that personality, liberty, and property exist. On the contrary, it is because personality, liberty, and property exist beforehand that men make laws. What then is law? As I have said elsewhere, it is a collective organization of the individual right to lawful defense. Nature, or rather God, has bestowed upon every one of us the right to defend his person, his liberty, and his property. Since these are the three constituent or preserving elements of life, elements each of which is rendered complete by the others and cannot be understood without them. For what are our faculties but the extension of our personality? And what is property but an extension of our faculties? If every man has the right of defending, even by force, his person, his liberty, and his property, a number of men have the right to combine together, to extend, to organize a common force to provide regularly for this defense. Collective right then has its principle, its reason for existing, its lawfulness in individual right, and the common force cannot rationally have any other end or any other mission than that of the isolated forces for which it is substituted. Thus, as the force of an individual cannot lawfully touch the person, thus as the force of an thus as the force of an individual cannot lawfully touch the person, the liberty, or the property of another individual, for the same reason, the common force the common force cannot lawfully be used to destroy the person, the liberty, or the property of individuals or of classes. This is so powerful, so clear. It's like obvious. Anybody who reads it will change. This is the power of writing, great men, great mind, who have done so much of study. And when they write, the first page itself is almost convincing. Now we know what he'll write. In fact, for me, maybe, of course, because we're also acquainted in 2026, we know these things still. It is so convincing. The first page itself is a convincing that, yeah, the individual should be preserved. I should not kill you, or your faculties, or your property. These are supreme. Laws exist for that. You don't exist for. These things don't exist for some law. So you can't have any other purpose. That's what he's trying to say in this. Anyway, this is my emphasis. You read the book word by word and you enjoy it. I have introduced you the first page of this great book, The Law by Frederic Bastiat. Thank you.